Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video lesson we will cover following topics which are all about the mole. What is mole? What is Avogadro's number? And this particular value which is 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23, we will discuss in detail that what is mole, what is its importance in chemistry, how it helps the chemists to determine specific amount of particles, and so on. I will start my discussion with some journal viewpoints that in a supermarket, whenever you go to a supermarket and you have to buy either eggs or bananas, or you are looking for shoes, or you may be looking for sugar or maybe a paper rim, so you have to describe its particular unit to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper will provide you the same thing in particular amount. For example, if you ask the shopkeeper to provide you dozen eggs, he will provide you 12 number of eggs. In the meanwhile, if you ask him to provide dozen bananas, he will provide you with 12 number of bananas. And if you are looking for shoes, so you will find pair of shoes whenever you go to a shoe store. And if you're looking for 1 kg sugar, so the shopkeeper will realize that you need 1000 grams of sugar. And in case of paper rim, if you are looking for a paper rim and you ask the shopkeeper to provide you a rim of papers, so he will get you this paper rim, and which will consist of 500 sheets. So it certainly means that you need to describe a particular unit for getting something in a local market. And in case of a chemistry lab, we have to determine the particular amount of a substance, and a unit is used which is mole. So mole is also a unit that chemists define and determine in the chemistry lab, and they help themselves for chemical reactions and so on. So he was the man behind the term mole. He described the term mole, and his name was Amedeo Avogadro, and he provided the definition of mole, and it is amount of substance which contains Avogadro's number of particles. Simple is that. He was the first person to differentiate between atoms and molecules. And if you want to know more about him, you may go to this particular link that I have provided over here, and you may see a particular article on Scientific American, and it will help you to determine was Avogadro's number determined. Now let's talk more about the mole. It is a practical unit for chemists for counting atoms, molecules, or ions. As I have mentioned earlier, that whenever you want something and you are going to the local market, you ask the shopkeeper that he should provide you with something, you have to define or determine its particular unit. In the same way, mole is a practical unit for chemists for counting atoms, molecules, or ions. Counting units depends upon what you are counting. In case, for example, dozen eggs means 12 number of eggs, pair of shoes means they will be exactly 2. Amount of a substance similarly counted by unit mole. So in chemistry, we count the substances in form of mole. So if we further elaborate it, the mole can be defined as the amount of substance that contains 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 particles of that substance. It is represented by capital N and subscript A capital. So Na it is usually called Na. For example, if I say 1 mole of sulfur atom, it will be always equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 sulfur atoms. And if I ask for 1 mole of carbon atoms, so it will be exactly equals to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. Let's further elaborate this.